Only Essentials, your weekly recap of the essential AI news from the team at GAI Insights. Remember, you can find all the articles, their ratings, and the rationale from the GAI Insights webpage. Let's hop on in. Another big week. Starting off with new research out of Microsoft on Gen AI usage in business. OpenAI launched GPT-4 Omni, and Google brought us almost too many updates to handle. Although the whole team agreed this news from Microsoft was essential reading, Paul offers us this healthy dose of reality about statistics like 75% of global knowledge workers using generative AI.
Yeah, just a quick note. I mean, I don't believe the 75%. I think we should note that Microsoft's added $1 trillion in market cap of AI, and they own LinkedIn. LinkedIn's number one revenue driver is job postings. So let's be clear who paid for this thing here. Also very interested to know what the incentives were for people to complete the survey. I suspect they really the early adopters. So I think there's a lot of survey response bias. But I do think from an AI leader standpoint, there's some great charts in there in terms of which skills are needed the most. From AI leader with Capital Quest, they have some good data here to do it. But let's understand that this is a marketing document first and foremost. This is not a research document.
Hello, GPT-4 Omni. Free for all, faster and cheaper. Our guest analyst Pete Blackshaw calls this essential news the Alexification of AI.
All right, Pete, there was a lot to absorb here, and I know you had a great post on LinkedIn. I encourage everybody to take a look at that. But give us your brief synopsis and your rating on this one.
Yeah, I'd say this one is absolutely essential. In fact, I would dare say that folks should read it several times and watch the videos, and maybe watch the videos with their kids because they might have a different interpretation. But yeah, I think this is a game changer. We've got, I was trying to think of how to summarize it. And I would say, first and foremost, the term that kept coming to mind was almost like the Alexification of AI, of open AI, but smarter, more empathetic, a bit more humble, and definitely more integrated with other modalities. And so this is kind of a triumph of voice that I think everybody, Google, Amazon, was trying to get to. And now it's really coming to us furiously in a very, very user-friendly format. And I think that's going to be a game changer. And then closely related to that, I think OpenAI is further democratizing access or lowering barriers, lowering costs. We're seeing in our own research that certain underrepresented segments are disproportionately using AI tools. And I think that's because of the screaming utility. And so now we've got the biggest platform further lowering barriers. And I think we need to really spend some time interpreting that.
Close on the heels of OpenAI's announcement, Google offers us Astra. David explains why it's essential for the AI leader to know this is a two-horse race.
I would call it essential. We called all of OpenAI's announcements essential, and I feel like you said, it's kind of a two-horse race at this point. So I think it's important for the leader to know what's coming out through Google. Obviously, as you said, this, and as we'll see in a few minutes, a lot of what they talked about is not coming out right now and doesn't have a definite time frame. So that's not extraordinarily helpful for the AI leader, but it does let them know that there are other capabilities coming out that are similar to what OpenAI offers. And so they've kind of got to make some decisions, right? Are they going to go all in on OpenAI now? Would they hold off on some things for Gemini for any reason, because maybe Google is what's integrated into their organization? So I would vote for essential.
Astra wasn't the only news to come out of the Google I/O event. Paul believes, although a bit of a kitchen sink announcement, it's essential to scan and understand all the latest capabilities.
We're certainly doing a lot of employee training, and I really like the phrase they use is let Google do the work for you. I think that's a nice phrase to help people understand both on personal productivity and process automation where these technologies are going. It was a kitchen sink of announcements. I think it's essential for the scan. I think the AI generated questions are particularly interested. I think getting more Gemini into Gmail is very important, at least for those few corporations out there that are using Google Workspace. Obviously, most of the companies are using Microsoft 360, but a kitchen sink, but we're skimming and essential rating in my view.
Don't miss another day. Sign up for the newsletter now and get all the ratings and rationale right in your inbox. You can also provide us feedback right from the ratings page, so let us know what you think. Until next time.